Zuletzt war er in seiner Wahlheimat 2014 im Berlinale-Wettbewerb vertreten mit Futuro Beach. Jetzt kehrt er in die Konkurrenz zurück und zeigt Rosebush Pruning, das Remake eines Films von Marco Bellocchio aus dem Jahre 1965. Der Film damals hieß Mit der Faust in der Tasche. Nach einem Drehbuch von Efthimis Filippou, der für Yorgos Lanthimos unter anderem den Kultfilm The Lobster schrieb, zeichnet Karim Aïnouz das satirisch überhöhte Bild einer sehr reichen und sehr unglücklichen Familie mit Stars wie Jamie Bell, Elle Fanning und Pamela Anderson. Rosebush Pruning, die Pressekonferenz zu diesem Film.
I'd like to learn more about this girl my son has fallen for.
I can do it. Let me do it. I'll do it.
I want Anna to do it. You can't be objective. You're in love. Unless, that is, you're not in love, in which case I'd be happy for you to do it.
Martha is blonde, very white, medium build, blue eyes.
And her handbag? What sort of handbag does she have?
It's Bottega, I think. I think it's Bottega.
Anna.
Is it or is it not Bottega?
Yes, yes, it is Bottega. Jack got it for me as a gift.
And her bosom?
Because I was...
No.
Her bosom?
Yeah,
I can't understand why it's wrong for me to ask about her bosom. If I could see, I would have already looked for myself, and I'd know if it was big or small.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the press conference of Rosebush Pruning. Thank you. Before we start the questions, I will introduce our guests from your left. He is a Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright and an acclaimed actor, known for films such as Lady Bird, Ford vs. Ferrari, and Little Women. Please welcome Tracy Letts. He's known for roles in Euphoria and The White Lotus and continues to establish himself as one of the most exciting young actors of our generation. Please welcome Lukas Gage. She is an acclaimed Spanish actress known internationally for her collaborations with Pedro Almodovar, including Talk to Her and The Skin I Live In. Please welcome Elena Anaya. He is one of the most distinctive voices in contemporary European cinema and is known for his collaborations with Yorgos Lanthimos, from Dogtooth to Kinds of Kindness. Please welcome screenwriter Efthimis Filippou. Since his first feature, Madame Sata, 22 years ago, he has built an extraordinary body of work with award-winning films which premiered in Cannes, Venice, and here in Berlin, where Praia di Futuro screened in competition in 2014. It's a pleasure to have you back with us in Berlin for Rosebush Pruning. Please welcome Karim Aïnouz. Our next guest needs no introduction. We're absolutely thrilled to welcome her in Berlin this year. Please welcome Pamela Anderson. We first came to know him in his BAFTA-winning role in Billy Elliot and has since built an extraordinary career spanning films from Snowpiercer to All of Us Strangers. Please welcome Jamie Bell. He's widely known for his roles in The Capture, Masters of the Air, Fantastic Beasts, Green Room, The Only Living Boy in New York, and many, many more. Please welcome Callum Turner. Okay, I know you have a lot of questions, so we start with the floor. Can we pass the mic over there? Thank you.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Hi, I'm Kaz from Scotland. 6 years ago, I started having seizures, and I was really excited to see seizures shown on this film today. So I'd like to know what preparation you did. Did you do like research into epilepsy in order to be able to portray that realistically?
Yeah, I worked with a movement coach named Julia Crockett, and she had actually done a workshop with girls in Puerto Rico who all had seizures. So she was a movement coach, and then also had the actual experience of working with people that had this. So I really wanted to get it right and portray it accurately, and yeah, and really talk about the psychology of it too, not just the physical aspects of it. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Ronny Thorau, German press agency, radio service. I didn't expect it to get so early the question. Sorry for that, because this is a question for Callum Turner, so that we can concentrate on this movie completely, because there's a little bit of an elephant in the room, maybe around you. So there are for some weeks now some speculations, rumor reports that you are the next James Bond. Some say you are the hottest candidate right now, maybe one of many, or maybe this is all fake and rumors and speculation. Would you like to comment on that? And if not, could you share a little bit how you deal with this debate right now, this buzz? Can you live and work normally? Thank you very much.
You're right, it's very early for that question. I'm not going to comment on it. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm the next James Bond.
Tracy, I thought you weren't going to tell anyone.
Here. Karim Aïnouz, question here from Brazil, Rodrigo Fonseca. Could you speak a little bit about your partnership with Elena Anaya, your DP, how to portray this amazing Spanish environment with her? Thank you.
Well, thank you. Yes, it's the 4th movie I shoot with Helene. We are like partners in crime, and I think what's really wonderful about working with Helene, I think what we really have in common is like we really love people, so we really love characters, so whatever we do, it's really about capturing, you know, what the characters and the actors are doing. And it's been a wonderful ride. It's been like a long and sexy marriage.
Hey, Joe from ZDF Public Television, ZDF Aspekte. I have a question for maybe the US citizens. I was wondering how the situation back in your home country, the political situation, affects working as an artist, and why probably in the film industry people are not speaking out loud very often. Why is that? Maybe Mrs. Anderson or Mr. Letts?
Well, Ms. Anderson's Canadian, so that's a little...
That's right, that's right. What about you?
This movie speaks for itself. This movie has its own beautiful statement to make, courtesy of a beautiful screenplay and a beautiful ensemble cast and a beautiful director. And I can't speak for other artists. I don't necessarily feel comfortable taking away from the work that they've done. Obviously, it's an awkward thing to discuss because of our political situation. But one of the things that this movie gets at, I think, again, on the face of it, is that this extreme disparity in wealth breeds bad behavior, and in fact, probably creates fascism. And so that is one of the things that this film gets at. I think it's present on the face of it. I don't think there's any way around it. in terms of working as an artist, we're all artists coming together to work on a thing together, and the politics taking place in one's country don't necessarily impact each of us as we gather together to tell a story.
Thank you.
Hello, hi. I'm Lukas. This is a question for Karim. Lucas, here, I am. Hey, Lukas Pichilli from Cinesat from Brazil as well. I want to ask, well, a couple of things. I'll try to be super brief. One, as a filmmaker who's dealt with the theme of queer desire for so long and also internationally and in Brazil, I wanted to know if there was any difference working with this theme, like back home or abroad, if you feel a difference in your work. And just because we touched on the subject, how would, if you will indulge me, how would a Bond film directed by Aïnouz would feel would look like?
How would a what?
A Bond film directed by you would look like.
By me?
Yes, James Bond.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so if you can indulge me, that'll be great. Thank you.
Well, yes, one of my biggest...
Karim is directing my James Bond movie.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, thank you.
But it's serious. One of my biggest dreams in life is to direct 007. So just for the record. Having said that, yeah, just listen, it's working with wonderful artists and actors, and I think it just, because I come from the global south, it's the same, you know, like these are people that are super passionate about what they're doing, and I think they were very open on this project, you know, to come together as an ensemble and to dive into these characters in a way which was very complex and very fun. So I think it just changes the language. The soul is the same. Thank you.
Hello, hi, Laura Schuster from RTL. I have a question for Mrs. Anderson. It's a very female productive, no, there are a lot of female producers, oh my God, I'm sorry. There are a lot of female, strong women here, a lot of female productions at the Berlinale. And I wanted to ask if you have a good advice for younger women in general, maybe for life.
Wow. Well, if I was thinking, just to be yourself and to follow your dreams, and it's never too late. That's and I think that this has been a really fun experience for me to have this chapter. Life is chapters, and you know, hard work is what makes good luck. And I don't know. I don't really have. The question of me giving advice to other people always makes me laugh, because I don't think I would be the best at that. But we all have our own way, so that's all.
Hello.
Please stand up.
Yes, I am Adriana Möller-Rimke from Topicus magazine, and I'd like to ask you, Karim, do you feel like a Brazilian director in your international career? And is there a tendency in cinema for national borders to become blurry? Blurry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Listen, I think that I feel as a director working, and I feel obviously as a Brazilian director working anywhere. But I think what's really exciting about the times we live in is that, you know, the filmmaking community is much more international. So I think there's a lot more exchange, and there's a lot more curiosity about world cinema, and a lot more people working across borders. So I think it's also a sign of our times. I mean, look at what's happening now with the Academy Awards, and you know, in the last few years, perhaps one of the most exciting films that were being nominated were, a lot of them were not in English language. So I think, you know, I think things are changing, I think, for the better. And I think it's wonderful that we can, coming from where I come from, to bring some oxygen, you know, to different kinds of filmmaking. So it's all about telling stories and the characters you're exploring. So I think it is a really exciting moment in that way.
Hello, a very interesting work. It's Yannis Raouzeos from Greece. Gεια σας κύριε Φιλίππου. First of all, I'd like to address a question to Mr. Filippou about, let's say, the scenario. I feel that we have kind of a comedy tragedy here in the great ancient way of putting things together. Would you like to make a comment on that? And secondly, I would like to describe me, Miss Anderson and Mr. Bell, the interaction in between you, son and mother, this complexity, this media-like interaction. Thank you.
Could you repeat the question?
Yes. About your scenario.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe it has to do a lot with a notion of an ancient tragedy. Νομίζω ότι έχει να κάνει περισσότερο με την έννοια μιας αρχαίας τραγωδίας. And it is connected also with a sense of comedy. In this complex between comedy and tragedy, if you can make a comment.
I'm glad if there are elements of comedy. I have no idea if there's a connection with an ancient tragedy. That wasn't the intention. But, you know, when we started thinking about it with Karim, the idea was to describe something, not to indicate. So that's what we try to do during the whole procedure. And if when watching it you thought of an ancient tragedy, it's totally fine, it's great. If not, it's also great. And that's what I have to say.
You want to hear specifically about the relationship between me and Pamela in the film? The characters, yeah. Well, the mother is someone who has escaped from this kind of vapid, unhealthy, cult-like kind of space. And she's got out. She's living her own life the way she wants to live it. She's found her own virtue. And I think my character is someone who's looking for that same kind of escape, that same kind of freedom, except I think he finds it in the wrong place and kind of just ends up continuing the cycle in a way. Sometimes people don't change, unfortunately. And I think that's kind of Jack's destiny. But just to speak on what Efthimis has said there, which is the script really, the script was all kind of in the margins. It was all, there was no explanation on the page, which as an actor really gives you a big sandpit to play in. And I think that's what we did when we went over there to Spain, is we all just kind of, we looked at the behavior of these people. Anytime we tried to put dramatic stakes or dramatic context onto these characters, the kind of script kind of rejected them in a way. And the absurdity, the operatic absurdity kind of came more to the fore. And I feel like that's something that me and Pamela kind of played with on the day as well.
I think he said that perfectly.
Hi, Giulia Bianconi, Il Tempo Italy. For the scriptwriter and the director, this story is inspired by Fist in the Pocket of Marco Bellocchio. So I was wondering what this story fascinated you most, the perversion of this relationship and family. And I was wondering if Bellocchio has read the script and you talk about it. Thank you. With him.
Listen, I was really, I was introduced by, I had seen the Bellocchio movie, but Michael, the producer of the movie, and Viola, they actually called me on day, because I was really interested in making a movie about family, and I had just made 2 movies about a father, and I remember when Michael called me and said, what about if we do something inspired on this? And this was at the time of the pandemic, and it was like about making a movie that could be contained. That's how it really started, but I think I watched it again, and when I watched it again after Michael's proposition, I felt really excited about a movie that was somehow coming, you know, it was like watching the Grimm's Brothers on acid or something like that, you know, like it was really interesting, and I felt like how to take it to the next level. And then I talked to Efthimis, and I think what happened there, we're having this this lovely conversation on Zoom at the time, and I thought, what about if we take out the mother and then we put in a father in the place of the mother, because I think the themes that Bellocchio was exploring at that time had a lot to do with revolution and change. I mean, it's 1965, actually a year before I was born. So there's a sense of explosion. And here I was really interested in talking about, let's say, patriarchy and, you know, kind of a traditional family. So that's how the relationship with that movie started. I remember the first conversation we had, it was really about sort of what kind of changes we do. And I do think, you know, Bellocchio has read the script and seen the movie. The other thing that was tricky here, it's a masterpiece. So how do you do something inspired on a masterpiece? So at the same time that it was exciting, it was quite scary. But I do think that the film is very much inspired by a sense of rebellion that he did on that film, that he had on that film. And you could never forget that's his first movie. And I think the other thing that attracted me about that movie was exactly the sense of excitement that you have when you do a first movie and you try things out. And then he came in and turned this all around and made the most exciting script I've ever had the possibility to put my hands on. So I'll give it back to you.
I don't have anything to add. I mean, thank you.
No,
You're
thank
very
you.
kind. Yeah.
Hello, Mariona Borrell, Fotogramas Spain. This is a question for Miss Elena Anaya and Miss Pamela Anderson. I want to talk about your relationship, guys.
Oh, that's good.
I'm super excited. Did you know each other beforehand? What was your first impression when you met each other at the set? And yeah, and how has your shooting gone? Thank you.
Well, we met like a week before filming, and I had a crush on her immediately. Of course I did. It was like a Burman, Burman actress coming, and I just thought you were the perfect actress for playing my girlfriend. So, and I was so proud and so happy to have you by my side, and we had kind of fun shooting. We had our own secrets that we'll never share, and of course,
We got to know each other very quickly.
Yeah, it was fun. It was very fun and wonderful to have her by the side, and of course, Karim giving us the perfect directions always.
I remember when Karim showed me pictures of Elena, and I was like, oh yeah, she is gorgeous. Yes, because the chemistry was important, and we got to know each other, and she's so funny, and we really had fun with it. You know.
Ore again from Turkey's Haberturk. Yorgos and Efthimis, I'm sure you're aware, like starting with wokeism in the US, there's been debate about sex and nudity disappearing in movies, and everyone's very sensitive, everyone's very offended. When you were making this film, was this cultural climate at the back of your mind? Did you deliberately wanted to push buttons and boundaries, or just doing your own thing? Thank you.
Not really, because tell you the truth, when I'm writing something, I don't have in mind countries or, continents, or, I mean, I am trying to write stories that it could happen anywhere. So I try, maybe at the back of my head there are such restrictions, but they're not, I mean, I want to believe that they don't indicate my way of thinking. There are a lot of violence and, maybe provocative scenes at my scripts, but they're not, it's just, they're there because I think that when I try to describe humans and life, you cannot avoid them. So it's not a matter of shocking others, it's a matter of describing the humankind. So yeah, I don't know if...
Hi, hello, I'm Pavis from Germany. Nice to meet you. My question is about the funding of the film, because Germany, North Rhine-Westphalia, has also funded the film with 300,000 euros, and I would like to ask you how important our film funds are for a project like this to make it happen if you have not a major studio in the back. Maybe if the actors and the producers want to say a little words about that.
I think this is a question for the producers, but I also feel entitled to answer that question. I think it's utterly important. I think that we live in a time where censorship and, sort of political judgments of what we're doing are really, really dangerous, particularly in certain countries. So I do feel that the public support we had to make this movie was incredible. I think it's really important that we can keep expressing ourselves the way we want to, and I think this is a proof that, public funding is really important. I think that we're not only doing something we're doing something for audiences, but sometimes to get there, we do need to be accompanied by initiatives like, the funds in Germany. I come from a country where cinema would not exist if it were not for public funding. So I think I'm very much from the support. I remember that, when I made Brazilian films in the beginning, there was lots of logos. And I remember people in certain festivals laughing, the Brazilian films have lots of logos in front of them. And I said, yes. And in those guys in the logos, they've never asked me what I was doing. They basically, supported the project. So I'm very much from the opinion that it is paramount that we pay attention to it.
Hi, Silvano Mendes from Radio France Brazilian desk. I have two questions for Karim. The first one is about fashion. Fashion is very present in the movie. It's almost a kind of name dropping, a lot of brands. Is there some kind of partnership with brands? Maybe it's a question for producers. And the second question is for the Brazilian crowd, the Brazilian audience. Which elements of your personal experience as a Brazilian you feel in that movie?
Yeah, I think to answer your second question first, I think that what's there is like a different way of looking at another culture. So I do think that if this film had been made by an American director, it probably would be not better or worse, but very, very different. So I think it's a question of point of view. And point of view comes from a life that's been lived, in different places. And in my case, it was really exciting to me to create a chronicle of an American family. So I think it's, to answer your question, a Brazilian looking at an American family, I think that's what I bring to the story. And then about fashion, no, there wasn't. We're very free, and I think what's really beautiful about the work that Bina Daigler, who is our costume designer, did on this movie is that she really did a huge amount of research on the archives of big labels. So I think what we have there is also the feeling that this family has been collecting. It's like jewelry, like they've been collecting these pieces of clothing that, not necessarily fit them, it's not necessarily the best piece for them, but that's the thing that, they wanted to buy to somehow show off. So I think fashion is really important in that sense. It would make no sense for us to have a sponsorship of one brand, because then it would be a different story.
Hello, my name is Olga Galperovich. I'm from Belarus, Radio Culture. So I would like to ask actors, what did you like and dislike in your characters, what you did play, and how did it click with your personal experience? Thank you so much.
What I really liked about Ed at the beginning was that it felt like he was in a moment in his life of change. He was evolving and couldn't understand why he was evolving and separating from the family, and couldn't understand why he was separating from the family. And I thought that was such an interesting thing to play. And yeah, I don't want to say anything else. You'll see it in the movie.
Jimmy?
I don't know. There was a kind of a collective coldness about these people. It's kind of collected apathy that I thought was interesting, that I hadn't really done before. Inhabiting characters that don't want for anything, nor have any ambition, what that does to a person, how you exist in these empty spaces. Like so much of the time we were like, what would they be doing? What do? They do nothing. That's what they do. So it was trying to inhabit that space was tricky. And also for my character, he's someone who is also much like his mother, trying to take that road and trying to escape something, trying to escape cyclical transgression within this family, and is desperate to kind of get away. I think he's also quite cowardly, which I think is kind of like me, in a way. I feel slightly connected to him that way. But it was really fun making this movie because there were no rules in a way. We did a lot of kind of insane shit, you know, like a lot of crazy, wild stuff that basically we rehearsed for 2 weeks, going through all the scenes, working them out. And on day one, Karim came to us and said, "You remember everything we did in rehearsal? Don't do any of that." and so in a way, we'd explored and we'd mined the depths. And then when it came to it, you really wanted it to feel like playtime, you know. And that was kind of the area that I think we were all trying to get to, where it was up and it was fun. And even though these people had complex relationships with one another, there is an enjoyment of their kind of vapid life. They enjoy each other. And that was the thing that I think we all kind of really connected with.
Playing the mother, I think, is always complex, being a mother, and the shame and guilt that carries anyway, and just the generations of mothers in my own life, or excavating that, was quite an interesting journey. And then to be the one who escapes her family, her biological children, was a painful discovery. It was kind of, I really thought about the times that we're in. There's so much of this youth that is wealthy, that comes of wealthy, this inherited kind of wealth and this superficiality, but there's that connection. Even, it was really interesting to play the character because obviously she was gay, and so there was a lot of interesting rebellion going on in her, which I felt really exciting to play. And yeah, I can't wait to see the movie. You know, we haven't seen it, a lot of us up here. So, yeah, I'll let you know after. Thank you.
I think for me the best part of being the landscaper was to be a witness of this outrageous and crazy family, and of course to be the kidnapper of the mother.
Like Robert, I really related to being attracted to my older brother. No, I admire how much Robert loves love. He's a romantic. I love how eccentric he is. I love his bold taste in fashion. And I liked playing someone who was uninhibited with their emotions and expressing themselves and allowing themselves to have tantrums. Yeah.
The sick, amoral part of my character that's the fun stuff. You know, when I first got the script, I was told, well, they've been to a couple of big wheels with this, but they're really scared of the toothbrushing scene. They didn't tell me anything about it. And then I read it, and I spoke with Karim on the phone, and I said, yeah, toothbrushing scene, that's fine, but do I really have to ride this fucking horse? And Karim said, well, I think I found my father for this movie. Because the sick, amoral stuff, that's just like, well, you just take the gloves off, and it's just great fun and great freedom to be able to play all that stuff. But that horse, my God, that was, I had to learn how to ride a horse. You know, when I first started, you know, I took lessons in the States, and they said, well, when you get to Spain, the horses are going to be much easier to deal with. They're Andalusian, and they respond to voice commands. It was total bullshit. I got there, the horses horses were completely poorly behaved, and I trained on a horse in Spain, and they said, well, it's all right. Once you get to the set, the horse they're going to have for you there is very tame. And I get to the set, and the horse is the biggest goddamn horse I've ever seen. It looked like Man of War. I'm like, how the hell am I going to get on this horse? I cracked a rib. The horse was a nightmare.
Okay, we're out of time. We're out of time. Thank you so much. We're out of time, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.